Hi everyone, welcome back to the Sacred Spaces series. Back with me again, Mary, as your host. It is one of the most breathtaking churches in the world and a crown jewel of Gothic architecture. Today we travel to Italy to explore Milan Cathedral, the largest church in Italy and the second largest in Europe, capable of holding over 40,000 people. The magnificent Milan Cathedral, also known as the Duomo di Milano, is dedicated to the Nativity of the Virgin Mary. Construction on this colossal structure began back in 1386. It took nearly 6 centuries to complete, with the final touches added in 1965. The cathedral's imposing façade is a masterpiece of intricate stonework, adorned with thousands of statues and spires that seem to pierce the very heavens. At the very top, the golden statue of the Madonna, also known as Madonna, stands proudly watching over the city of Milan. The Duomo of Milan tells a story of faith and art spanning over 6 centuries. Work for the construction of Milan. Cathedral began in 1386, when the style of Gothic cathedrals had reached its peak. It was decided that the new church should be built in the area of the ancient basilicas of Santa Maria Maggiore and Santa Tecla, the remains of which, together with those of the baptistery of San Giovanni alle Fonti, are still visible in the archaeological area. For this purpose, in October 1387, the Veneranda Fabbrica del Duomo was founded at the instigation of Gian Galeazzo Visconti, Lord of Milan, with the aim of continuing with the design and construction of the church. Gian Galeazzo's decision to use Candoglia marble instead of the traditional Lombard brick was accompanied by a real revolution in style through the choice of Gothic. This forced the Fabbrica to look for engineers, architects, sculptors, and stonecutters from all around Europe. The construction site became a lively space for the exchange of the most diverse ideas, experiences, and skills from workers coming from all over the continent, which made the Duomo a crossroads of peoples and cultures and the most European among Gothic cathedrals. The long succession of architects and engineers at the head of this innovative and original construction site makes it impossible to trace a certain authorship of the project. Construction began from the apse, with its awe-inspiring and imposing stained glass windows, and continued towards the transept and the first spans of the naves, leaving the age-old problem of closing the vault unresolved. On the 16th of October, 1418, Pope Martin V, who was returning from the Council of Constance, consecrated the church's high altar. At the end of the 15th century, the greatest architects and artists of the time, including Leonardo da Vinci, tried to accomplish the difficult task of designing the Ciborium. Once this phase was concluded and a unanimous decision was reached, construction work continued and a new phase started under the inspiration of the pastoral work of Carlo Borromeo. The Council of Trent's decrees 1545 to 1563 started the Counter-Reformation, more precisely, the Catholic Reformation, in opposition to the Protestant one. Carlo Borromeo, Archbishop of Milan from 1564 to 1584, and Federico Borromeo's Archbishop from 1595 to 1631, interventions in the cathedral were inspired by the concepts and forms of the architecture and ecclesiastical furnishings of Papal Rome, leaving a new imprint in the Duomo's interior. As we can see from the magnificent architectural framework of the presbytery, the side altars, the crypt, the baptistery, the floor, the quadroni di San Carlo, and the wooden choir are among the most interesting examples testifying to the creativity of this prolific historical phase. The design of the church's façade began at the end of the 16th century, when the foundations for its prospetto front were laid. Meanwhile, the ancient façade of the Church of Santa Maria Maggiore, which was demolished in 1683, had been rebuilt forward of its original position, as was the case for many other architectural elements of the cathedral. The façade, too, had to wait for long until the end of the 18th century before a definitive plan was completed. Between the 17th and 18th century, the Ciborium was completed with the great spire on top and the laying of the statue of the Madonnina, 1774. The 19th century saw great activity on the construction site. On the eve of Napoleon's coronation as King of Italy, and on his initiative, New works were undertaken to complete the façade 1807 to 1813. The construction and decoration works continued. Most of the spires were placed on the roof, and several stained glass windows with enamel-painted glass were also completed. The 20th century, which was marked by war and conflict, saw the start of major renovation works. The first archaeological excavations in Piazza del Duomo, and the completion of the façade with the addition of the doors, which date back to a relatively recent period, between 1909 and 1965. In the second half of the 20th century, the Fabbrica undertook the complete structural and conservative restoration of some complex parts of the Duomo. The 60s and 70s saw the Veneranda Fabbrica engaged in works on the façade, with the second restoration carried out on the spire after another one that had been carried out in 1840. Inside the cathedral, a complex static restoration of the Tiberium pillars was certainly one of the most complex interventions. While at the end of the century, the apse and the façade were restored. Later, the Great Spire was restored for the third time. In 2016, the exciting challenge of restoring the Tiberium and the dome began. But the Duomo is more than just a marvel of architecture. It is a place of great spiritual significance, housing important relics from the past, including what is believed to be one of the holy nails from Christ's crucifixion. During special ceremonies, the relic is displayed for all to see. Stepping inside, visitors are greeted by a world of towering columns, stunning stained glass windows, and richly decorated altars. The vast space is both awe-inspiring and humbling, making it a popular destination for tourists and pilgrims alike. And if you enjoy learning about incredible places like the Milan Cathedral, then be sure to stay tuned for more amazing content. We explore fascinating destinations all around the globe, uncovering their history, culture, and beauty, so don't miss out. Subscribe now and join us on our journey. Now let's continue our tour of the Milan Cathedral. Located in the heart of Italy's fashion capital, the Duomo is a prominent landmark that dominates the city's skyline. The Duomo is the largest Gothic cathedral in Italy and among the most complex in Europe. Its pointed arches, elaborate tracery, and verticality typify the Gothic style, yet it incorporates Italian sensibilities in its use of light and marble. The cathedral is supported by hundreds of flying buttresses, allowing the walls to soar high while supporting the heavy marble structure. Over 135 spires decorate the rooftop, each uniquely sculpted and culminating in the highest spire topped by La Madonnina. Sourced from the quarries of Candaglia, the pinkish-gray marble gives the Duomo its signature shimmer. The façade of the Milan Cathedral, completed in the 19th century, features detailed carvings, saints, and decorative arches. The interior layout includes 5 naves, with the central nave rising majestically above the others. The apse is adorned with golden mosaics and stained glass windows, leading the eye toward the altar and organ. The Duomo boasts one of the largest collections of stained glass windows in Europe. These windows depict biblical scenes from both the Old and New Testaments, serving as visual catechism for generations of worshippers. Atop the highest spire stands the golden statue of the Virgin Mary, affectionately known as La Madonnina. Installed in 1774, she stands as the city's protector, her shimmering form visible from much of Milan. The cathedral is adorned with over 3,400 statues, many featuring saints, prophets, and mythical creatures. These include a statue resembling the likeness of Napoleon and another of a boxer modeled after Mussolini's era. The Duomo has played host to numerous political and religious events. Most notably, Napoleon Bonaparte was crowned King of Italy at the Milan Cathedral in 1805. It remains an active site for Catholic Mass and religious ceremonies. During the Counter-Reformation, the Duomo became a powerful symbol of Catholic resilience. Its grandeur embodied the might and authority of the Church, particularly against the backdrop of Protestant movements. The Duomo houses Italy's largest organ with over 15,000 pipes. Its rich tones have accompanied countless religious services and concerts. further embedding music into the spiritual fabric of the space. Located adjacent to the cathedral, the Museo del Duomo offers artifacts, original statues, and insights into the construction process. Beneath the cathedral lies the archaeological area, showcasing remnants of the original Santa Tecla Basilica and ancient baptisteries. One of the highlights of any visit is ascending to the terraces. Whether via stairs or elevator, the rooftop grants panoramic views of Milan and allows visitors to walk among the intricate spires. These offer visitors stunning panoramic views of Milan and a close-up look at the cathedral's spires and sculptures. There are several approaches to the roof terrace. One of the most interesting is through the spiral staircase built into one of the buttresses. This leads to a series of terraces and walkways that wind their way around the cathedral. The views from the roof terrace are truly spectacular. On a clear day, visitors can see for miles around the city of Milan. Another fascinating aspect of the cathedral is its connection to the Holy Nail. According to legend, one of the nails used in the Crucifixion of Jesus Christ is kept in a reliquary at the cathedral. The relic is only displayed during special ceremonies, but it is believed to have miraculous powers. The cathedral is also home to a number of other relics and works of art. These include the bronze doors, which were sculpted by the famous Renaissance artist Michelangelo, and the marble pulpit, which was carved in the 16th century. Over the centuries, the design of the cathedral evolved, incorporating new architectural ideas and styles, but the overall Gothic design remained constant. The exterior of the cathedral is a masterpiece of intricate stonework. Tickets can be purchased online or at the ticket office. Combo passes typically include access to the cathedral, museum, terraces, and archaeological area. To avoid queues, visit early in the morning or opt for skip-the-line access. If you'd rather skip the logistics altogether, consider booking an organized tour. Guided tours offer expert insights, priority access, and a smooth, pre-arranged itinerary, perfect for travelers who want to explore the Milan Cathedral without the stress of planning. It's a more relaxing way to experience the Duomo, especially if you're short on time or prefer a curated cultural experience. Milan is a global capital of fashion, finance, and design. The Milan Cathedral anchors this identity with centuries of history and artistry. It is a spiritual, cultural, and architectural beacon that continues to captivate visitors from around the world. The Milan Cathedral is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the most popular tourist destinations in Italy. Visitors come from all over the world to marvel at its beauty and to experience the spiritual atmosphere. Whether you are an architecture enthusiast, history buff, or simply looking for a place of tranquility, the Milan Cathedral is definitely worth a visit. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Sacred Spaces. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to like and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an exciting episode. And be sure to visit our channel for more exciting videos and other fascinating destinations. Until next time, keep exploring the world and all of its wonders.